Alice ter Haar, thank you very much for coming and talking to me today. Very excited to get into all kinds of things about Deliveroo, where you work, and also your side hustle, which is to do with personal development and various other things. We'll get into that. So can we talk about sort of Deliveroo's marketing strategy? You know, what sort of things do you think you guys do that maybe is different to other people?
The thing that I really respect about the way that we operate is the way in which we see ourselves as a growth function. So yes, we can be traditional marketers and spend millions of pounds on a big brand campaign. And if you want to drive brand awareness, that's the best way in which to do it. But seeing ourselves as a growth function, we might invest in other areas of the P&L to have the best service and best product that we can, that we believe is long-term going to drive more customers to the platform and get customers to stay with us for longer. So for example, you might choose to invest in commercial and in sales headcount. So you've got lots of business development managers on the ground onboarding all of the restaurants that customers want, because we know that selection is the number one reason why customers would choose Deliveroo over another service. It means investing in the best engineers that we can get so that we're building the best tech platform possible so that customers find our app the most easy to use.
What do you do to make people have your app and not somebody else's?
I think the investment in selection and having the best possible product that we can is the number one thing that we do. Because if our restaurant selection is the best, if our app experience is the best, if our customer service experience is the best, then why would you choose to use anybody else? For example, I remember that Pret a Manger said they didn't invest any money in marketing because they spent everything on making sure that that product was the best possible product that you can have.
What sort of stuff do you do from a marketing perspective? Are there specific aspects that you find do deliver the best results?
One of the interesting channels that Deliveroo has are our riders and insight branding. So that would be the window stickers that you might see in a restaurant. And those are some of our best performing marketing channels in terms of attribution. So when we ask a new customer, how did you hear about us? They'll often say a rider, or they're hearing about us in a restaurant. So that's quite unique because you've got these partners advocating for your service. And you know, you'll walk around some areas of London and every other restaurant's got a sticker on the window. And if you're walking home thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, and you're perhaps walking on your merry way to Sainsbury's local and you see lots of Deliveroo stickers in a window, it might nudge you to make a different decision.
Yeah, definitely. So you've been at Deliveroo for quite a while.
I have.
But you've now got something else going on. What is it you're now doing? Could you just tell me a bit about that?
What I realised was that some of the top skills that I had were in public speaking, in being vulnerable, in talking about leadership, in training, in facilitation. And the embodiment of these things is what I'm doing now, which is I need not a cooler job title, but a better job title. I'm a personal development enthusiast.
Okay.
Sometimes I say evangelist, but then that sometimes makes me seem a bit crazy. But I am crazy about this thing because the whole process of realizing those things has been so instrumental in me having a positive change on my life that I want to help other people to have the same experience.
Just explain a little bit to me about sort of what you are evangelizing. What is the gospel that you're preaching? What is your message? And what are you sort of trying to encourage people to do?
So my mission is I want to make personal development mainstream. I first heard of this concept North Star, which is something that I talk about a lot in my talks now, which is the idea of what does your dream life look like in the future? What are you aiming towards? What does the pinnacle look like? If you put a rocket ship just 2 centimeters in place, it will go in a completely different direction. But if you're aiming for the moon and then you hit another star, it's still pretty incredible to have got that far and that high, and the trajectory might change as you go, but you're still aiming for something really big and meaningful. And if people spent 5 minutes thinking about every week their development and what's gone well this week and why, what could I have done better, what are my 3 objectives for the week, I just can't imagine how much more we could achieve if we applied ourselves a little bit more. So my mission is to help people as part of their own journeys to be inspired to go off and do their own thing. So I'm doing that through speaking and I'm now running training in companies, and I'm launching my own course called How to Grow Like a Badass Unicorn, because my mantra is that every single person has a unique set of skills. And if we are able to identify what those are, if we're able to find ways in which to leverage them, to lean in to our spikes and make them spikier, we can all have a greater impact on the world, which it's a pretty scary place out there. Imagine if we were all having a bigger, more positive contribution to it, but also on ourselves as well. And it's this wonderful virtuous circle where you feel good about what you're doing and you have loads of energy, and then you do more stuff, and then laws of attraction, and it just it keeps building and growing, and you feel really, really good about it. So I hope that through my story and through my honesty about things as well, that other people will be encouraged as part of their own journey.
That's a fantastic message. What if somebody wants to find out more about that? What would be the best thing they could do to find out more?
You can follow my ongoing journey, because I'm really upfront about all the different things I'm doing on Instagram. You can go onto my website, ter.com. How narcissistic is that? Your website, which is your own name, and like you go onto the page and it's just my face.
Just a nice picture.
Oh gosh, so cringe. But fuck it, I am my own brand.
Yeah, you have to. Personal branding is the most torturous thing in the world.
I love it. Personal branding, right? If you think about a good business and a good business brand, it's just the same thing. You know what you're about and you try and nail it for as much of the time as possible. Having a good personal brand means that you're actually not an asshole, because you recognize your strengths and your development areas and you're navigating yourself around that. Personal brand shouldn't make us feel yucky inside and want to vomit on ourselves. It's actually a really, dare I say, selfless thing, because it means that you're trying to show up as the best version of yourself for as much of the time as possible. I have this saying, if knowledge is power, then what greater gift can there be than knowing yourself? Because when you know yourself, you can be your best self for as much of the time as possible, which is the synthesis of what personal development is all about for me. And there are two amazing quotes that I use. They say there are two important days in your life: the day that you were born and the day that you figure out why. And when people find their why, it means that they can have this huge impact on the world, but huge impact on themselves. And you can live a meaningful life. And we are so fortunate. Anybody listening to this in the first world is so fortunate. We won the life lottery. Like, take that opportunity by the hands and give it some welly, because somebody else is going to do it otherwise.
Yeah, that's very true, very true. It's been really, really nice talking to you. I've got one more question that I want to ask, and this is kind of the thrust of our series, which is, if you sort of had one piece of advice for brands, marketers, business owners, possibly even people who are looking to look inwards about personal development, what do you think people need to do to sort of get an edge in today's world, which is a digital world?
You've heard lots of what I say. Let's see how clear my messages are. What would you say that my message would be?
I'd say your message is find your North Star, work out who you are and what you want to do, and then pursue that. And
if you were to translate that to a business or a brand?
Know who you are. I think that's it, isn't it? It is know who you are.
And then nail it.
Yeah.
So I talk about exactly, if we carry your analogy through, your North Star would be, what are you really good at? What's your market in the gap? Then go ahead and do it in the best way possible. I talk about having a product that's good enough to lick, nailing that. And yeah, just being fearless about going after that.
I love it. That's great. That's great. I love that. Thanks very much for talking to me. It's been really interesting. I can't wait to see kind of what's next for you with the personal growth journey and sort of you spreading your message to the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be watching the space.
Thank you.
Lovely.
1, 2, 3, listen.